So it wasn't that long ago where I was talking about a new GMT coming out from TIMEX that was made out of titanium. And it seems like TIMEX have really embraced titanium. Today, hands-on, I have their latest dive watch, the Deepwater Reef 200. It's a 200-meter dive watch that is made out of titanium and gets some incredible lume. And currently, it's the only automatic version of the Deepwater Reef that they've come out with thus far. I do have one of their quartz divers as well. We'll take a look at that during the video. However, I will do a separate video on that watch just so we can get into the details on that one as well. Let's flip the camera and take a look at what could be TIMEX's best dive watch ever, the titanium automatic Deepwater Reef 200. So I genuinely mean it when I say that this could be a future classic from TIMEX. They've really leaned into titanium. They've made a few different watches in titanium now, and this is a next step for their titanium watches, specifically when we're talking about dive watches. They've done a few field watches. They've done a couple of GMTs now in titanium. This is really their first titanium dive watch, and I hope that they come out with a bracelet for this watch eventually. I think that would be really awesome because they do make really nice straps for these, and I'm going to go through this strap. I think this is a really nice strap that they've created for this specific collection. However, a bracelet is something that most people are looking for when they talk about dive watches. A lot of people don't like bracelets, but having that option I think is really important for them, and that's something that they should do. You can get a bracelet in this collection. There is a stainless steel version in quartz that is available, and it's very affordable. And they'll probably come out with that version in automatic eventually, but it's the titanium one that we're looking at today. This looks great. It also feels great. This is probably one of the highest quality TIMEX that I have ever handled, alongside, of course, the James brand edition and their recent GMTs. They've made some very high quality watches, and this is a very high quality watch. It is titanium, so you have a titanium case, titanium bezel, crown, case back. You also get a titanium bezel insert, and it is lumed. I think this is the first lumed bezel that I have seen on a TIMEX. The dial gets amazing lume. It's all the same color. It's a minty green, almost a tinge of blue in that color. It's Super-Luminova, so they're actually using high quality lume on this watch. You're getting a matte black dial, and those indices are applied. However, they are solid blocks of lume. And I believe they are solid blocks of lume, not painted blocks of lume, because of how bright they glow in the dark. And I'm going to show you that towards the end of the video. You have a very straightforward dial design here. It says TIMEX up at the 12 o'clock position, right below that 12 o'clock index. And it says deep water because this is the Deepwater Reef 200. Down at the bottom of the dial, this one says automatic because this is the automatic version. Right below that, it gives you the water resistance. That's 200 meters of water resistance. So all of the watches in this collection get 200 meters of water resistance, which is excellent. And then right below that, it says titanium because this is a titanium dive watch. It is a dive watch with 200 meters of water resistance. So you're getting a signed screwed in crown and you're getting a screwed in case back. The crown is really cool on this watch. And what they have done for this entire collection is put a crown that is, of course, screwed in. Like I said, this one gets a titanium crown, but the crown has a little arrow on it. It's in red, letting you know which direction to screw the crown in. And then the case back has a wave pattern on it, and it is signed Deep Water because, again, the name of this collection is Deepwater. Really nice details that they've put into this watch, especially considering the price. We'll put that aside for a second. We'll talk about price in just a minute. You are also getting some titanium details on the buckle. You are not getting a standard TIMEX buckle here. You are getting a big, chunky titanium buckle that has a very nice signature on it. So the TIMEX signature right there, or logo, it is very deeply etched into that buckle. So this feels like a premium strap compared to other straps that I have encountered from TIMEX, this feels a little bit higher end. So you are getting a lot of higher end details with this watch. You're getting that lume bezel, you're getting a titanium case, you're getting those solid blocks of lume, you're getting an automatic movement, you're getting a lot of little details. The strap is really nicely made. I'll show you exactly how that works a little later on. They've used similar straps on other watches. This is a little bit different from what I've seen in the past, and I really like the refinement that they've made on this strap. I'll show you it in just a few seconds. First, let's listen to the bezel action, because this is a titanium watch, and usually titanium watches don't have the best bezel action, but this is actually pretty good. Sounds really good, feels really nice, and it has a very solid click, especially considering that it's titanium. Everything here feels very nicely made. The finishing on this watch is really nice as well. When you flip it on its side, you can see that basically everything is brushed or bead blasted, but you do have an edge on the case. It is not polished, it is brushed, but it looks really good. If you want a polished edge, take a look at their stainless steel versions in quartz. Those are extremely affordable, and they're getting a polished edge as well. I have one on my wrist to show you guys. I purchased this one because I wanted to own both the stainless steel and the titanium, and I'm actually going to do a separate review for the stainless steel version, so I will show you guys that. This gets also, I do want to mention, a sapphire crystal with that Cyclops. Some people are going to hate the Cyclops. Some people are going to love the Cyclops. I think it looks at home on this watch. The case on this watch is somewhat of a 70s case. A lot of people will compare it to a 62 Mas, which I don't think is an entirely bad thing. However, there are plenty of watch brands that used cases that look like this during the 1970s and 80s. So it's really not an homage to the 62 Mas, in my opinion. Measurements on this watch are really good. 41 millimeters at the bezel. So on their website, they say this is a 41 millimeter watch. However, at the case, it measures in at around 39.8 millimeters. So around 40 millimeters at the case, at the bezel, 41 millimeters. Under 13 millimeters thick. So it's around 12.8 millimeters according to my calipers. And then you have a very large crown at 6.9 millimeters. The lug to lug is 47 and change, so it's around 47.3 millimeters. I'll show you this watch and the stainless steel watch on my wrist. So when I got the titanium one, I really liked it so much that I bought the stainless steel version as well. This one is PVD coated on the case, I believe. It's slightly darkened, and then you have a PVD coated bezel that is black. This is stainless steel, however, it's basically the same dimensions as the titanium version. This has a polished edge on the case and a quartz movement with a textured dial. So those are the major differences between the two. You're getting the same strap, the same case, the same bezel. The dial is pretty much the same. You're also getting those blocks of lume, which is pretty incredible. And I'll do a separate video on this watch. I really think these are a bargain in watches right now, and TIMEX have outdone themselves with these. These also get a sapphire crystal, and by the way, no date for the quartz version. So here is the titanium version on my 7.5 inch wrist. I'm actually starting with the underside of my wrist first so I could show you that the strap basically works like a traditional strap. There are no keepers, which I absolutely love, and I wish more brands would do this. There is no flap that is just sort of hanging out there. It folds under, so you don't have a flap just, swinging out in the wind. I like that. I think it looks great. It's a lot cleaner of a look, in my opinion, without those extra keepers. They sort of add height on the bottom. I don't like that. I really like this system, and I hope they incorporate this into more of their watches, and maybe other brands should start, incorporating this as well. I think it looks great. Well, I have a 7.5 inch wrist. This is the titanium version on my 7.5 inch wrist. Like I was saying, this is a 47 millimeter lug to lug, under 13 millimeters thick, and you have around a 41 millimeter case size. Really, it's a 40 millimeter case size with a slightly larger bezel. So I would say this wears a little bit smaller than 41 millimeters, but it's just in that neighborhood. So if you have a wrist around my size, this is going to be a pleasure to wear. If you have a smaller wrist than I do, this is still going to be pretty wearable, especially considering the way that they have set up the strap. and the way it looks, the way it feels, everything about it, I think it would wear pretty well on a smaller wrist than mine. And again, I have a 7.5 inch wrist. I do want to mention the hands here. You have these really nice hands on these watches. And again, you're getting this across the entire collection, whether it's stainless steel, the GMTs that they came out with. You're getting these skeletonized, solid looking hands, and they have lume in them, and they are slightly darkened. They look almost like they're titanium. I have no idea if they are titanium. That would be really cool. And then the second hand gets that same treatment, except the entire tip of the second hand, everything but the counterbalance, is in white, and that's painted white. And then you have a very solid rectangle on that second hand, which is lume. So lume on here is really good. I've been wearing this watch for a little while, and I have to say it's very comfortable. It's really well made. It's probably the best dive watch that I've experienced in 2024. And that is saying a lot, because I've experienced many dive watches in all price ranges. Again, you know, this does get a somewhat of a pedestrian movement. It's a Miyota 8215. It does hack, it does hand wind. It's a very reliable movement. And obviously it's not incredibly thick, because this is not an incredibly thick dive watch. You know, it's not the best movement on earth, but it's really not that bad. And it keeps the price low on these. $479 on the TIMEX website, directly from TIMEX. That is awesome. I think that's a very good price. Tell me if you disagree down in the comments below, but I think it's a really good price. And now let's take a look at the lume. And there you go. The lume is amazing on this watch. I am really impressed that they put this much lume on a TIMEX. The bezel is completely lumed. It's very liberally applied with lume. The indices are very liberally applied with lume, because they glow basically all the way around. So on the sides of those indices, you are getting lume. So this is a very well lumed watch. The hands are nicely applied with lume as well. Probably not as good as the indices and that bezel, but still, you could see them in the dark, and they are decently applied with lume. Everything here screams that this is somewhat of a premium product from TIMEX, and I think that they've priced this really well. You are getting a solid case back, so you're not seeing the movement. That 8 series Miyota movement is extremely reliable, easy to repair. It makes a lot of sense. So you're getting a Japanese movement inside, Swiss Super-Luminova, titanium case. You're getting really nice lume on that bezel. Hands, which are pretty unique for this watch. And then of course you're getting 200 meters of water resistance, a really nice strap with titanium hardware, lots of little details that make this somewhat special. And I really do think this is going to be a future classic. I really love what they did here. And I believe these have sold out already, and a lot of the versions have sold out already. I have been told that they will restock, but there you go. I mean, that's proof right there that people jumped on these immediately, because I mean, they are very good looking watches, and they're made out of titanium at a pretty good price. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of these watches? What do you think of what TIMEX are doing? I am always excited about new releases from TIMEX. They are doing some pretty incredible things. I want to hear from you guys. Please tell me what you think down below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. I will put a link to the Deepwater down in the description. If you're interested in these watches, definitely check out that link, check out their website, and they keep on coming out with new watches, and they've added to this collection. I believe the GMTs are still available. Those get a Swiss movement. I don't have one of those in for review, but hopefully in the future I will. Anyway, guys, that's really it. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for checking out this video. Thank you for joining me today. I will catch you guys in the next video.